Hi Sagittarius, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name is Carol. Sagittarius, this is going to be a general mid-month check-in for September 2024. And what we're going to be doing in this reading is I'm going to start off by looking at what pattern or situation or issue is showing up in your life right now for healing. And then in the second part of the reading, I'm going to look at what aspect from your shadow is driving or impacting this situation or issue that you're sitting with in part one. Now, so we're going to be doing some shadow work, and if you're unfamiliar with the term shadow or shadow work, I'll leave you a really good video that I've done myself, and it's called My Powerful 4-Step Guide to Shadow Work, and it's taken from my other channel called Carol Cares. It really is about facing your own shadow, and it's something I put together based on what I've been doing for the last 7.5 years for my own complex trauma, the healing I've been doing. So, and then in part 3, we're going to be asking the tarot for some guidance as to how you can begin to heal this. And it's always about beginning, because this is a process. And so the tarot will give us, a step that we can take to begin to heal this. And then I'll offer you some other video or playlist at the end as well that is from my other channel, Carol Cares. And it is going to be more specific to what you're dealing with right now. So, and I'll also leave my September 2024 reading that I did for you. So for this reading, we're going to start off with the Tarot of the Abyss. And I'm going to ask the tarot to give me 3 cards to start off with. And then I'll clarify her with the Rider-Waite deck right here. All right, so let's start off by asking the tarot right now. And I have pre-shuffled these, so I'll just give these a quick shuffle right here. So what situation, pattern, or issue is showing up for Sagittarius right now? So 1 card, please, for that. Ooh, King of Swords came flying out for you. What aspect from your shadow is driving or impacting this? Your cards are flying out. The 6 of Swords. The 6 of Swords. And what guidance does the tarot have for you to begin to heal this? You have the 5 of Cups. All right, so let's go to the Rider-Waite deck. And we're going to clarify this King of Swords with 2 to 3 cards, please. So, King of Swords, please, 2 to 3 cards to clarify this. One more. Crunched that one. I hate when I do that. Alright, we're going to have one more shuffle here. One more. Oh, there it is. The Hierophant. Right at the beginning. Alright, so we have for the King of Swords, clarifying that. We have the 9 of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Hierophant in reverse. 6 of Swords. 2 to 3 cards for that, please. We got this one here and one more. Okay. So for the 6 of Swords, you got the 2 of Swords, 7 of Pentacles, and the 4 of Cups. And 5 of Cups. Clarify that, please. 2 to 3 cards. Ooh, got about 4 there. I got too many, about 5. It's too many for that. So I'll try that again. 5 of Cups, please. 2 to 3 cards. There's 1. Two more. Okay. You got in the last row, to clarify the 5 of Cups, the Death Death card in reverse, the 3 of Pentacles in reverse, and the Justice card. I forgot, before I get into this reading, I forgot to tell you about the big milestone, and thank you actually to all my subscribers out there, because we hit 1,000 subscribers on this channel a few days ago actually. And so I decided I wanted to give back somehow, and I am going to offer a contest during this mid-month reading, and I'm going to be giving away 5 free readings. So you will hear me, there'll be a little break somewhere in this reading, and I'm going to talk about how you can enter into this contest to win a free reading from me. All right, so I'm glad I remembered that actually. Okay, let's begin. So what situation, pattern, issues coming up in your life right now, Sagittarius, for healing? You're starting off with the King of Swords. The King in my deck, there are 4 of them, and they represent the masculine side of us. We all have a masculine and a feminine side. It doesn't matter what gender you are, but you have these 2 sides. And the masculine qualities are really the ones that most of us kind of tend to live our life by. It's our ego self. And so we're very much up in our head, and we're very, driven, task oriented, and these are the type of qualities that go along with the King. And so I can see here that your ego self is very much right now in control, which means oftentimes it's going to block. Like, we live in our head, and that's where our ego self is. And if we're in our heads, we're not in our bodies. We're kind of blocking it. And our ego self will often come out when there is something coming up for healing, and the ego self wants you to stay in your head because the ego self doesn't like emotions. It's petrified of them. And so right now I'm seeing that that's your first card that's coming out right now that I think you need to become aware of. And oftentimes when I say that, people will click off because your ego self will say this is bullshit and don't listen to her, or what. That's the ego self. It does not want you to touch your emotions. So what's behind it? What is your ego self blocking right here that you're probably aware of, but it just is not wanting you to look at it? Well, you have the 9 of Cups here, and the 9 of Cups is 1 away from the 10. 10 of Cups is that full range of emotions that we're supposed to feel, that is offered to us. And so, but there's so many emotions that we will block from feeling, we don't want to feel. And this particular individual in the 9 is kind of like, you know what? I got my arms crossed. I'm done. I'm done with feeling. And maybe you're like, I'm done with healing. I'm fed up. I've done a lot. A lot of us can sometimes get on that sort of spiritual bypassy kind of thing where you're like, you know what? I've done so much healing that I'm done now, or I don't want to do anymore. We get on to something else that prevents us from feeling, And so that's where you're sitting right now, that you're kind of like, you aren't touching your emotions because I could have said, without even looking at that 9 of Cups, and I didn't, when I said that, it's because your ego self is out, and I know you're blocking. But, here's an offer from the universe here. Very interesting that this ace is coming up right now, Because what is this? What's the pentacle? Well, the pentacle is our physical body. It talks about grounding. It talks about being grounded. It talks about getting back into your body. And this is an offer. It's an offer. It's a gift from the universe that says, it's time. There's an offer here that saying you're feeling it where you need to get back into your body. You need to feel that last cup here that you don't want to feel. Whatever it is here that you're just avoiding, you're blocking. It's your ego self that does not want to feel here. And the Hierophant, very interesting, comes in here. And the Hierophant talks about, in an upright position, it talks about this papal figure, preaching to these disciples here. And so it talks about, how did you learn? What did you learn? Where did you learn it from? How are you wired? I like to use that word wired when it comes to the Hierophant, is how are you wired here? Because, and this is in reverse here, and it's like, there's a real resistance to going to look at, having to undo some of that wiring, because what is it about you that has kind of put you into that state where you're not feeling anymore, or you're just not feeling at all, or maybe you're one of those individuals that doesn't touch emotions, right? I'm not going there. I don't do emotions. And so it's like, it's time to look at, how are you wired? And I'm feeling like this is going to be a big one when it comes time to looking right now at your shadow. It's going to tell us a little bit about how you were wired when you were younger. Why? Why did you shut down? Why are these emotions shut down? What is it in your shadow that has caused you to shut down like this? And that's going to be the aspect that's driving or impacting what's going on with you right now. You start off with the Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords, if you look closely at this card, this is this individual that's on this eagle, taking this individual somewhere, taking him to a safer place. And so I'm going to say that when you were younger, because the shadow is all about when you were young, growing up, childhood, adolescence, you were not in a safe place. You were not in a safe place to feel. You weren't in a safe place to feel. And behind that, it comes this, this person here with these two swords. And they have this blindfold on. And it's almost like this individual, this is often said that this is a card about making a decision. And this individual is so tied up and not knowing which sword to choose here. But if they would only take their blindfold off and realize that, it doesn't really matter. They're both the same. But they're so caught up in their head with this, and this would have been you, and you're not in a safe place, right? Just so caught up in your head and putting on this blindfold because it was just probably too painful to exist where, in your childhood. And, the idea of even having to make a decision or a decision about anything was just not there for you. It's almost like, I think of that as, and it's coming here in this next card, but it speaks to me of somebody that's just been so overwhelmed with what's going on in their childhood. But this Seven of Pentacles here in reverse, this is an individual that has spent their entire life hoeing these pentacles. And look at the expression on the person's face. It's like, is this it? I've put all of this energy into this. Is this it? It's in reverse. And so when this card comes in the shadow, the Seven of Pentacles, it tells me that you gave up when you were younger. You gave up. And you remain stuck in your head. Because when we are younger, when we are not in a safe place to feel, right? You're not in a safe place. You were not in a safe place to feel. And if that's the case, we will go into our heads, and that's where we'll stay. And that's where you are right now. You're in your head with this king here, your ego self. Well, you know, I didn't make this stuff up, but here's the Four of Cups. Here's you. Here's you in when you were younger. And this is this individual that has these 3 cups, and the cups are all about emotions, all about emotions. And there's another one here. There's another one on offer from the universe, and it's kind of going, okay, take this cup of emotions. Here's some more emotions to deal with. And that individual has gone, nope. It often reminds me of, look at the position of this 9 of Cups person, that situation you're sitting with right now, and look at the position of when you were younger of that person. Both of them have their arms crossed. Both of them. Because life was too painful for you. Like I said, you weren't in a safe place to feel. And so there was no way in hell that you could take this 4th cup and feel. And so when I see this card, this is very much a card of feeling very hopeless and kind of just shutting right down and not willing to feel because it wasn't safe for you to feel. It was not safe for you to feel. And so this is what's happening to you, is that this is where you are right now, where you're not feeling safe to feel. I just said it. You're not feeling safe to feel. And you didn't when you were younger. And so somehow there's a correlation here. I'm feeling like there's this thing of safety. You know, and I have to ask you, are you in a safe place to feel? Do you need to get in a safer place to feel? Because this journey of healing ourselves is pretty much impossible, or it next to impossible, because if you're not in a safe place, it's almost like a priority that has to be in place for you to be able to do this healing. You have to be safe. All right, this is the time that I'm going to talk about how you can enter the contest to win a free reading from me. So, first of all, when you clicked on the thumbnail, there is a picture on the front of it. And if you look at that picture, there is a restaurant on the picture, if you look closely, and the name is there. So what I want you to do is I want you to look at that restaurant. It's, I'm going to give you a clue. It's from a popular destination in Canada. And the restaurant itself is quite popular in that area. And so what I want you to do is I want you to email yellowcardinaltarot@gmail.com, and it's written on the screen. And I want you to tell me what food item this popular restaurant in a touristy area in Canada is best known for. And the food item itself is 2 words. And there's another small little clue on the picture itself. You'll see it if you look closely. So you're going to have to go back to the thumbnail that you clicked on and get a close look at it. For some of you that have been to this area, or for some of you, I know I have people out there that are actually subscribers that live in this area, believe it or not. So yeah, and that'll be your chance to win. And once you email me, I'll pick the first 5 people and I will email you back and to let you know what you need to do from there. Good luck. And so what's the guidance from the tarot here? Well, the first card that comes up is the 5 of Cups. You had your 4 of Cups over here when you were younger, where you just decided, I'm not taking another cup. I can't feel anymore. And then you get in this position here, especially with this 5 of Cups here, you get focused on these 3 of Cups, the things that have been spilled. And the universe wants you now to look at, you have these 2 other cups over here. There's still feeling to be done, but I know you're sitting in a place where you've given up. I know you're sitting in a place where you're feeling quite hopeless and you're feeling depressed. And I think your ego self is keeping you up here because it doesn't want you to go into your body and to feel that hopelessness, which is your depression. And it does, it's a shitty place to go, and it's a very painful place to go. But in order to heal, you need to go there. And I'm going to read these next 3 cards, and then I'll offer you some advice on what I've done. And you have the death card here. And the death card is a card, it's in reverse. But I can see here it's in reverse because there's a resistance to looking at this, or yeah, to looking at this. We've talked about the safety here already, and I talked about that, and I didn't know what was coming up here as advice from the tarot, but the death card comes in when it says, there are some people and there are or things in your life that need to go. And like I said, there's a resistance. It's in reverse here. When I first started my own healing journey about 7.5 years ago for my own complex trauma, my life coach that I still have now, trauma life coach, she told me that when you continue this journey and as you go along, you will lose some people on your healing journey. And that is not something I wanted to hear. In fact, I knew that, there's probably, I kind of knew who I needed to let go. But I've lost a lot of people on this journey in 7.5 years. And I think there's a real call here for you that, you're sitting in this depressed state that you're in. You're feeling quite hopeless. And remember, this is a general reading. And there are people around you, individuals around you that, or things around you that need to go in your life, that you need to walk away from. And the 3 of Cups, the 3 of Pentacles comes in reverse here. And the 3 of Pentacles is a card in an upright position that speaks about co-creation and working with someone else. And for me, because this is a healing channel, this is all about getting back into therapy, getting some help. Because if you're in this state right here where you're feeling incredibly hopeless and you don't see a way out, and when your emotions are quite shut down, and I know that the last thing you probably want to do is to get back into therapy or even start therapy if you've never done it before. And if you're hearing you don't have enough money for it, that's your ego self. I have been in for 7.5 years in therapy, and I don't even want to tell you how much I've spent on it. But it's just something that I had to do, and I still have to do to get through my trauma. And there have been times when all my life I've been in and out of therapy, and I just couldn't find the right therapist. And there were times when I swore off it. I don't want to do it. I'm not doing this, because my ego self would shut it all down. And this is what this is saying. Well, maybe it's time to get back into therapy, and it's in reverse because there's obviously, if your ego self is out, there's a real resistance to doing it. There's a real block to admitting that maybe that's where I need to go. And, here's the Justice card as your last card. And this is a major universal force here. It's from the Major Arcana. So it's like there's this part of you, and I think you need to kind of cling on to this and grasp it, that wants justice in your life, right? That wants to bring back the balance, that wants to get to the truth. What is your truth? It's sitting here. What is all of this? Why did you shut down? You were in a very unsafe place. There's some stuff here that's gone on in your shadow here, that's gone on when you were younger, that has caused you to shut down where you didn't feel like it was safe to feel. And I think it's time that you get to your truth, that you start to moving in that direction to get to your truth and to bring some balance to your situation so that you don't have to sit anymore with this depression. I know oftentimes we get a diagnosis. Some of you might have a diagnosis of depression. It's not something that we have to live with all our life. I had it. And I still go in, in bouts in and out. I did today, like I had to write from it. I journal from what I'm feeling all the time. And so I'm going to give you a playlist, I think, on depression. And it's going to teach you how to journal. And I also have a playlist on journaling too. But the depression one is going to teach you, there's quite a few videos in that one, I think. And just go through it and see, like, how I think my biggest advice I can give for you is learn how to journal from your depression, from those feelings of feeling, why bother? Nobody cares. Why, and nothing's going to matter. It's not going to make a difference. That's the only way I got out of my depression. So I will leave that playlist with you in depression and your September reading. And I want you to have compassion for yourself, Sagittarius, for what you're working through. This is the hardest journey of your life, but it's the most important one. So take care, and I'll see you next month. Bye.